Welcome back to the Twist of Fate podcast, where you can find your inspiration to make your dreams come true.
Woo! I have some crazy stories of some things that have happened.
That was good. I like it.
So while maybe my knees have a little less cartilage than most 32-year-olds, I feel great.
I am a stand-up comic, actress, MC, and Italian.
You know, this is my 9th attempt on business. You just got to keep going, and it'll lead you to your path.
Everybody thinks it's easy and that anybody can do it.
It's Blake Lewis. If you want to catch my full interview, check it out on the Twist of Fate podcast. I'm Blake Lewis, and I am a vocalist, artist, and producer of such things. I started music as a little kid, singing in choirs, professional choirs. Then I started learning piano and guitar. I fell in love with the art of the beatbox in high school. From there, I joined an a cappella group called Kickshaw. I was an MC at all these huge parties, raves back then, and a part of many hip hop acts in the Washington area, and developed my own show as a one-man show, beatboxing with loop pedals, around 2000, 2001, and kind of the rest is history. I was known in Seattle as B Shorty for a long time, then had success on American Idol, and so on and so forth. But after American Idol, it wasn't so much a what now, it was just like, how soon? Was like, can I get an album out and grind and do the things, get a music video out, build a website, engage with my fans, because American Idol was such a bubble, they didn't let you talk to anybody. Not like now where social media is a thing. Back then, social media, they took away from us. They wouldn't let us communicate with our fans that we were building at that time, which was very dumb of them. So it was just kind of like, how soon do we get the ball rolling for me to have a solo career? I went from being B Shorty in like the West Coast touring, doing various different musical concoctions, to I'm a soloist and I'm Blake Lewis now. What does my music sound like? I was songwriting at the time, prior to American Idol. Will those songs be in my catalog? Will the label like my songwriting? Will they even allow me to write my own music? I'm, a cog in this machine that just spits out these people all the time. How can I remain true to myself? It is kind of like having different children when you're speaking of the various albums that you've created. And it's just such a nostalgic feeling when I hear, because after you make the music, you don't listen to it a lot because you spent so much time. It could take 2 years. It could take a week to make a song. It could take a day. But if you're cathartic and honest in your work, it's a time capsule, so it's not so much a favorite. It's like, my first album is nostalgic to a time where I was new in the world of pop culture, new to being a solo artist, and some of the songs on there were written for me. Some of them I co-wrote, you know what I mean? It's a different thing. There's a few songs on there that I love and I still sing live. And those are the ones that I will. The other ones I didn't really sing live because I loved creating them at the time, but the heart wasn't fully in there to like the next couple albums I made. And more so as I produced. So my last 2 albums, 3 with my side project, are more dear to my heart because they come from a place of vulnerability, honesty, also the times of my life I can be like, I wrote that, I was with this person, as I was speaking earlier, just like, it's about the journey, so it's hard to like pinpoint. I would say the latest is always the new one because it's current, you're most proud of it, you just finished it, you let it all out, and so you're like relieved at the same time because you're just, I'm done with the album. You're like, it's like a singular accomplishment that only you can feel, you get to share it with people. You're like, look what I made, I hope one person likes it, but in all honesty, you're really doing it for yourself. I would say it really depends on the situation. I think personally the personal is always going to, personally, your creation is going to be more fulfilling than a corporate project. Financially, a corporate project is going to be a lot better. I've produced for many different corporations. I perform for many different corporations, and I love them because my music's not going to make me a lot of money nowadays. It's a different world we live in. Streaming's crazy.
What in God's name is there? Okay.
So stop honking your horn! The world's changed. Streaming music's taken over. My music, my catalog, not making the money it once did. And when it once did, it wasn't that great. So touring, merchandise, revenue, that's how I make money. So I love that when I get to do that. I mean, sell out my own show to my fans. And, I feel that I was put here to communicate that. And that's special to me. The corporate thing is like definitely a money grab in certain situations. Sometimes it can be creative filling. If I'm doing a composition for a cartoon, a movie, helping a friend's indie film, like doing that stuff. I need a Christmas song. I didn't write that piece of music, but I'm like, heck yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean? So that can also be creative filling. Even with corporation, when you get those opportunities, and so I do love those things, but when I'm pouring my soul out, being vulnerable, writing a song I really believe in, that's kind of the best. The hurdles are like behind closed doors. Like I saw a lot of like the fake facade of Hollywood in that situation. And I just learned that I have to go do things myself and find the information myself and find the right people until you do, you know what I mean? It takes work. But there's not like specific hurdles I can say, honestly, it's just kind of along the way you stumble and, playing a gig and that person doesn't pay you. Like I learned, okay, I have to get half up front or, you know what I mean? Or like double charge them. So what half was up front was really what I really wanted to make. And then now I just made more because, it's learning about yourself. Self-worth is a big thing and having a bottom line for yourself, just like corporate companies, the high up, they got a bottom line for their company. You got to have a bottom line for yourself. And that took a while to realize that hurdle and like, be like, okay, I'm at least worth this to do this amount of work at this moment for this person. And, it's just a learning process.
I can imagine you've gotten the, would you work for some exposure speech and billing half times?
I'm like, oh my God, bitch, I was on the biggest show in the world in 40 countries. Like, yeah, you know who did that? Oprah did that. Well, it wasn't Oprah, it was her production people, but this was like, pay you no money to perform for her $1,000 ticket event, her company. And then there was an open letter, it like went out from other artists, this artist that wasn't famous. Like at that time, I was like, no, I'm not gonna do anything for free. No, like has nothing to do with me. You don't wanna pay, it's literally a write-off. And they're like, and can we have 1,000 CDs to give to the fans? Like, you gotta pay for that stuff. It's not exposed, like the audacity of people will pay $9 for a Starbucks coffee, but they won't buy my album that's timeless and can live forever. And it's not something you pee out of your body in like a half hour. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. I deal with corporations all the time, and it's just always someone that doesn't get creatives. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, and they don't get that it takes work. They're like, oh, but you're just gonna sing and stuff. I'm like, no, I'm gonna learn 30 songs to memory, hire a band to learn that, people just don't get the process, you know what I mean? And, you're paying me for my 10,000 hours I already put into becoming the performer I am. You're not paying me just because I'm a good singer and at this one moment. Wow, I mean, honestly, far as someone trying to follow in the artist path, you have to be really passionate, because there's very high highs and very low lows at any given moment. With being a creator and putting yourself out there to be vulnerable in front of people, it does take, some gusto. And I say learn the business as well as you can, or surround yourself by someone that is very good at the business to learn from, that will help you, because that will save your ass in times that needs to be saved, especially because it's evolving. We're in a really different world now when it comes to streaming and AI, so like be hip kids to like the current like things that are happening, and make sure you read what you're signing, or have someone that is a professional to do that, because I made that mistake countless times, and I'm trying not to make that mistake ever again. Hello, everybody. It's Blake Lewis. If you want to catch my full interview, check it out on the Twist of Fate podcast.